Hey, welcome to the Drep & Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
Yes, you are.
And you are?
I'm Kyle.
You are Kyle,
Yeah.
Indeed. Kyle.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Let's just jump right into this episode because we got a lot of scotch to taste today.
What do you mean?
Well, we're doing a high proof scotch tasting.
Stop it.
Right now? We just
No,
started.
Let's keep doing it.
Okay.
Because we've been wanting to do this for a long time.
A long time. This has been on the books for a minute.
Yeah. Since we've been procuring different high proof scotches, each time we've dived into them, we've said, hey, you know what we should do? We should put this against some other high proof scotches in a blind tasting.
Well, guess what, buddy?
What are we going to do?
We're going to put this together with some other high proof scotches in a blind tasting.
That sounds so good.
All right. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Okay. So yeah, we were accumulating all these bottles, and we kept having the fever dream of what would it be like to have a high proof scotch tasting.
So we're making that dream a reality?
We're doing it. All right, so let's go through the lineup.
Okay. We've got the Highland Park Gulf Coast Edition.
Highland Park Gulf Coast Edition.
We've got the Highland Park Cask Strength.
Indeed. We've got the Ardbeg Uigeadail.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good doll.
Uigeadail.
Mm-hmm. We've got the Aberlour A'bunadh. So good.
Delicious.
Yep.
We've got the Ardbeg Corryvreckan.
Ooh, that was fancy.
Yeah.
We've also got the Bunnahabhain 12-year cask strength, the 2021 edition.
And to finish it off, we've got the Laphroig 10-year cask strength.
Ooh, buddy. So how do you want to orchestrate this tasting?
All right, so we were talking about it. We kind of felt like, first of all, it'd be appropriate to let's separate them peated and non-peated.
Sure.
Because obviously peated is a game changer.
Yep,
And that's going
100%.
to affect everything else. So
Okay.
we did that. We separated them peated and non-peated.
So what are our peated scotches?
Peated are both the Ardbegs, the Uigeadail, the Corryvreckan, and the Laphroig.
Okay. And then so our non-peated Gulf Coast, Highland Park Cask Strength, Aberlour, and then Bunnahabhain.
Sure.
Okay.
In which, I feel like Highland Parks and doesn't Bunnahabhain, do they claim that they are slightly peated? But it's just like you can't pick it up on the palate.
Yeah. I'm going to say like if they do mention peat, they are nowhere near the Ardbeg or the Laphroig kind of peat.
Right.
They
don't highlight it.
Right. I think you can separate those. Sure. And then the Aberlour is it's a space side, which doesn't mean that it's not peated.
Right.
It just doesn't use any peat.
The sherry bomb that it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then what from there? And then what from there?
Well, and then from there we decided let's build it on proof.
Okay.
Within those categories, so we went low proof to high proof.
Okay. So here is everything that we are going to do in the line up that we're going to do it in.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So we're going to start with the Bunnahabhain 12-year cask strength. Yeah. Move to the Aberlour, the Highland Park cask strength, the Highland Park Gulf Coast, the Ardbeg Uigeadail, the Ardbeg Corryvreckan, and the Laphroig cask strength.
Yep.
So in that order is how we're going to taste it.
That's the rank. I guess that's just the lineup as it exists.
Okay. Oh my God, 7 scotches, 7 high proof scotches.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there we'll do our thing.
Yeah, we'll do the thing.
We'll talk about each. We'll kind of rank each, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think for this one we're gonna go ahead and pour them all out.
Sure.
Just so that they're all in the glass and
Ready
we
to
can
go.
see kind of the spread as it exists instead of doing the one by one approach that sometimes we do.
Yeah,
Let's
like
just
it.
Get them all out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before we start pouring, because like once we start pouring, we're gonna drink it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
What are your initial thoughts looking at this lineup, knowing that everything is north of 110?
What's our lowest proof?
So everything here is north of 100. Our lowest is the
Ardbeg Uigeadail
at 104.
104.8.
Okay.
Or 108.4.
Okay. And then our highest is the Gulf Coast edition at 131.2. I had to do some quick math. I think that math is right. 65.8, 131.2.
There you go.
Is that right?
That's it.
Okay.
That's a kicker.
Yeah. Out of this lineup, what do you think is going to stand out for you?
Well, can we do this?
Sure.
Let's go bottle for bottle. Just what do you remember about it?
Okay.
For me personally, starting at Bunnahabhain down there, I remember doing that. We didn't feature it individually in an episode, but it was in our Bunnahabhain
Tasting.
throwdown.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That we did.
Yep.
Where it was 6 different bottles of Bunnahabhain.
I think so at that point.
And I remember that one being a bit of a highlight.
Yep.
But at the same time, I also remember thinking that the regular 12-year is such perfection.
Yeah.
That even with the higher proof here, it didn't outshine the normal 12 year.
I think we both said that. That I remember really liking. I still do like this bottle.
Yeah.
But that 12 year just out. Yeah, you're right. It outshines even the higher proof.
Yeah.
The higher proof brings out a little bit more spicy notes.
There you go.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
So
for
that
sure.
the lovely sweetness, the lovely rounded nature of Bunnahabhain 12, I think it just accentuates it with a bit of peppery spicy.
Yep.
What about the Aberlour A'bunadh?
A'bunadh to me is such a just kind of a sweet sherry whiskey bomb.
Yeah.
That was delightful to drink over the course of the holidays. Like that was just my holiday pour this year.
For sure.
I went through that whole bottle in about 2 months.
Yeah. This one's at 122.4.
122.4.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Absolutely delightful. Like, can't wait to get more bottles of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will be more like, I probably reserve those for just the fall and winter seasons.
I agree. To me, it screams, and it could just be because that's when we had it,
Sure.
but it screams that period of the year, that season, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you got to make room for bourbon and
Oh, well,
all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Everything is season.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And that's just where it is for us.
The mamas and the papas taught me that.
All right.
I think that's the mamas and the papas. Yeah.
To
whatever.
everything, turn. I don't know.
Anyway. Highland Park Cask Strength.
What do you remember?
Of the Aberlour?
The A'bunadh.
Like literally everything you said.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to just repeat a bunch of things, but like that, I remember it being very sweet forward, which I think the proof sets that and cuts through it really well, if I remember right.
Yep.
Highland Park Cask Strength.
Highland Park Cask Strength.
What I remember of this is disappointment.
Yep.
That this was when it came out or when it was available in our area, something that we both we got to get it. We knew that it was going to be definitely up there. It's at 63.3, so 126.6.
Boom.
And I remember us both going like, huh, okay.
I remember thinking it felt unfinished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was very, it felt like it was young.
Young, yep. The spiky edges on it became too much.
Right.
Because there wasn't enough maturation in the liquid that like rounded out some of those harsher notes.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm really excited to go back to it because I've seen a lot of chatter about it recently.
Really?
Of like
positive chatter?
At the end of last year anyway, when people were putting out their top whiskeys of the year list, that was on quite a few.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm interested to just see if like maybe that just needed to open up.
Yeah. Or maybe we whiffed the review or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
maybe.
I mean, that's unlike us.
Unlike us, but
It happens.
it could happen.
Yeah.
All right. On to the Gulf Coast edition though.
Oh man. I remember, and I've had more of this bottle. It's really good.
It's really interesting seeing them side by side because it is so much darker.
Such a darker. I mean, this is 11 years old.
You're right.
So like, I think that when you think of a Scotch, no age statement absolutely exists within Scotches, but like I want something with a bit of age because I know, generally speaking,
Right.
that you're going to get some of those really nice, well-rounded notes, and that's what you get out of this. I mean, it's a kicker, man. It's 130. What we say, 131.2.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
No, 0.6.
Oh, buddy,
131.6.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah, even more.
Yeah.
So like this is the highest of the high proof scotches.
Right.
This might be the highest proof scotch I've ever had.
I don't think I've had very many that are over 130.
Yeah. And everything that I've read about it, everything that I know about it, it's a pretty limited edition. It's only really available in our area, as far as I know. There's not a whole lot out of this bottle just because
It's special.
It's a punch, and it's special.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being rich.
Rich is perfect.
Like rich is the
unctuous. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a mouthful.
Yeah. I remember it being very oily and clingy.
Yeah.
Very clingy.
Yeah.
What about the Ardbeg Uigeadail?
Uigeadail, just an absolutely solid pour.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more delicate perhaps than the Corryvreckan, which is a little bit more rugged.
Yep.
But just all around flavors are just like on point.
Yeah.
Well-rounded.
Well-rounded. I love the peaty nature here, and peat for peat, Ardbeg can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not peat like Laphroig tends to be peated in terms of like,
sure,
but it's peat that and what I know about both of those bottles, I think we can talk about them kind of back and forth. What I know about both of those bottles is that the peat is such a like foundational flavor in here that it really holds up everything that's going on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you're thinking about a peated whiskey, like I think you think Lagavulin and Ardbeg are kind of in more of that interesting conversation with the peat.
Right.
Where you jump up to the Laphroig Cask Strength where it's the peat is the emphasis.
That is the conversation.
Yeah.
It's not a note in the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Corryvreckan? Or do we? We kind of
I think we covered it.
Okay. So what about the Laphroig Cask Strength?
So Laphroig, my memory of it was that it was much more harsh.
Yeah.
But when I actually came back to it after we bought these current bottles of it, it's not as harsh. And I think after having the Corryvreckan and getting one that is kind of more rugged and aggressive kind of flavor profile wise, the Laphroig was actually quite almost on the sweet side.
Interesting.
Like that was kind of what I picked out of it more. So I think in my head, Laphroig still represents heavy peat.
Right.
But when I went back to it recently, it was just kind of more of a that was not the main note. So I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a curveball there.
Sure.
Today.
Yeah. Okay. I will tell you, I have not been back to the Laphroig Cask Strength, even in purchasing these new bottles. Like I haven't opened my bottle. We purchased those a couple months ago.
Sure.
I haven't opened my bottle yet. So I haven't been to Laphroig Cask Strength land in a minute.
Been a hot minute.
So I'm really interested. Some expectations.
Yeah.
I think what is going to stand out amongst these, I have a feeling that the Corryvreckan's going to stand out.
Okay.
And that the A'bunadh's going to stand out.
Sure.
I'm not saying like those are going to be at the top. I don't want to necessarily make that prediction.
They're probably the most different.
But I think they're the most different. Yeah, absolutely.
You got to throw the Gulf Coast in there too, I think.
I think if the
proof-wise, I think it's going to slap.
If the Gulf Coast does stand out, it's because it's proof, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm also really interested in the battle between the Corryvreckan and Uigeadail. In like, where does that match up in this kind of lineup?
Sure.
Because those are the two that people kind of go back and forth with.
Well, I kind of feel like in this specific lineup, I'm almost wondering if they just kind of disappear into each other.
Interesting.
Like they're just like, maybe they're too similar, being the house of Ardbeg.
Right.
Because I don't think that'll happen with the Highland Parks. I think they're going to be quite different from each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I almost wonder if they just kind of blend in.
Okay.
It's almost hard to differentiate in this wide of a range of a lineup where we're going from super sweet to super smoky. And that whole thing, I think they might just kind of disappear into each other.
So let's recognize a couple of things, first of all.
Yep.
Yes, we are pairing all of this together, but all of these are great pours for different reasons. So like what I don't want people to take out of this is whatever we say, hey, this is what we like out of this lineup, what comes out at the top here, that does not mean that they are better than the other things.
Yeah, no, that's always, I think, should be a bit of a disclaimer for any of our tastings.
Oh, for sure.
This was our favorite in this moment, on this day, at this time.
Well, I mean, I know we have a lot of new listeners and people coming into Drep and Stone and into these tasting episodes. I think that so much of what happens in the whiskey world is the opposite of what we're trying to do. Is here's this lineup and this came out on top. This is the better whiskey. Yeah. And I don't think that's the case, especially for us when you're not doing a blind in this case. This is not a true blind. And even in a blind, you're kind of playing with what hits when and where.
Sure.
So for us, I'm excited to see what comes out, but I'm not going to say that thing is the definitive whiskey out of this lineup for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anything else? What about you?
No, I'm super. We got to get this going. I need some whiskey in the glass.
Well, let's do it.
I'm a little too anxious.
All right, let's do it. Kyle.
Good, sir.
Scotch is in the air and on the table and in the glasses.
Yeah, man.
There's scotch everywhere.
Smells good up in here.
Ron Burgundy would be proud of us.
Initial thought, look at that freaking Gulf Coast edition, man.
Holy crap.
Look how that sticks out like a sore
thumb. It
thumb.
really, truly does. Like, it is dark.
That's crazy. I mean, we've got a range here where the other 6 fit, within like one shade.
Sure.
Light to dark.
Sure.
You got Laphroig over here at the lightest, and then it kind of darkens up, I would say.
Bunnahabhain.
On mine, Bunnahabhain's kind of looking the darkest, but you got the Gulf Coast, which is like 3 shades darker than the rest.
Easily.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not even the oldest one on the table. Well, to be fair, Bunnahabhain 12 is the oldest. You got age ranges and you've got proof ranges.
Well, yeah, and you got some we have no clue.
What's that? Oh,
how old they are.
Okay, yeah. No age statements there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
interesting.
But that's just, man, it's so dark.
It's so dark.
Man, crazy.
Yeah, and I bet you it also has to do with the fact that it's 130,000 proof points. 130,000.
Well, I mean, I suppose, but I got a bottle of White Dog down here that's 125.
That's true.
That is water. Clear as water.
Clear. So starting with the Bunnahabhain 12.
Bunnahabhain 12. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Back to Boonie.
Man, I mean, it's no surprise and definitely no secret. I love me some Bunnahabhain.
Yeah, it's like a very, very favorite vacation spot.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like
yep.
It's always so good to come back here.
I remember that. Yeah, man, so friendly on the nose, even at cask strength.
Yep.
Even at cask strength.
Yeah, I mean, which we've got tiny pores, so
we do.
I don't think proof on any of these is going to get aggressive on the nose. I don't think there's going to be enough there to really like scare you.
You say that. We'll see.
We'll see. I just don't know that there'd be enough alcohol buildup in the bulb,
right,
to really like twinge your nose.
Oh yeah.
I think we're still going to get it on the palate for sure.
Sure. Man, it's just well rounded. It's a meal with old friends.
Yeah, I wish there was like a specific note, but it's just Bunnahabhain.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I mean it's warm.
Yeah,
like that is the note.
I mean it's a combination of like there's caramel,
slight raisin, just slight.
Yeah, subtle raisin.
It reminds me of
oatmeal.
Christmas. Oh, oatmeal's good. It reminds me of not fruit cake, but like the Christmas, like English Christmas pudding cake kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like our American fruit cake.
Yeah, got that little caramel drizzle on.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm going in. So we are leaving a little bit in the glass, though, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to like polish it off.
Yeah, okay.
Let's try to go through all of them.
Okay.
With a little bit, just because in case you want to go back to do a thing.
Oh my gosh, it's dessert. Ooh, there's a little bit of a proof hug. It's also the first, whiskey of the morning.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing we were able to wait this long.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a bread pudding.
Yeah, honey sweetness.
It's got like raisins thrown into it.
Clingy,
not a bunch, just a few.
Clingy.
Yeah,
a little bit oily.
Grabs you.
Yeah,
stays with you.
Yeah, that proof is on point, man.
It's amazing, and like just sipping it right now, I'm like, no way that just regular Bunnahabhain 12 could stand up to this. But knowing how we did,
yep,
it totally does, and it's delightful. Speaks to the relevance of balance, I think.
Absolutely.
That Bunna 12 is just the perfectly balanced whiskey.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Freaking delicious. The bitter on it is just present.
Yep.
Just gives you a whiff of a bitter right on the end.
Yeah. And to me, like, I love that because it just cuts through just the slight, you could say it's a bit too sweet, but you get that bitter and you get the proof, and it cuts through that in the best way possible.
Yeah. Very, like you said, like it's very desserty.
And to me, like that's what Bunnahabhain is. It is a dessert scotch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink it whenever.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But I would say
my
like
favorite
it is a
cutting scotch.
You wear one of those like beer helmets, just a bottle of Bunnahabhain on the side.
You got just regular 12 on one side. You got toe touch on the other.
You go back and forth.
Good to go.
Yeah.
All right. On to A'bunadh.
A'bunadh. Wow. Like that is incredible how different the nose is.
Yeah. Not as sweet, ironically.
No,
I don't feel like
definitely not.
on the nose.
Definitely not. And there's a nice jump in proof points here too.
Right.
But I don't get the proof on the nose as much.
No.
And it could just be because like now I've acclimated to proof.
Right.
But there's like a slight dry quality to
Yeah, I was
the
going to
nose.
say like this one, it nose is more like a wine.
And maybe it's just I'm thinking of sherry.
Right.
But yeah, it's
a lovely lady.
It's just dry.
Yep.
Like a dry white wine. Yep. Or a dry red wine. And I'm not like getting a whole lot of notes out of it. Like there's a slight fruity nature.
Yep. The volume on this one, as far as the nose goes, comes way down.
It does.
Like the Bunnahabhain had way more aromas happening.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of wondering if that's just like, because there's just a spit left of that A'bunadh.
That's true. So it's really opened up.
Yeah.
Like opened up.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we?
Let's go.
Oh,
Man, sweet all over the palate.
Wow. God. Forgot how good that is.
Yeah.
Jesus, that is so good.
Berry, jammy.
Oh, man. Ooh. Shit. Ooh. And then you get the proof.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is the proof is like, hold on.
Wait. And then
now.
And then it slaps you.
Definitely. Wakes you up. Whew. Oh, man. It is all the warming notes of the Bunnahabhain. slight sherry, what we already said, the berry notes, jammy nature, and then you get that lovely proof.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a French patisserie, like one of those like raspberry covered pastries or something.
Yep.
With like a caramel drizzle, like
fantastic is what you mean to say.
It's great.
I will say that there is a slight expo marker, but I don't know if it's like expo marker in like that dry nature, because I still get the very back end, just like a dry tannicky kind of note that like you get with a big bold red wine or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely present there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. On to the Highland Parks.
This is going to be tough, dude.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. All right. Up for the cask strength.
Yep.
Again, yeah. Remember this being a bit of a disappointment.
Agreed.
So,
and this was a highly sought after, like, we like looked for this bottle for a good bit.
Well, it was one of those ones of like
a good price.
We enjoyed Highland Park.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they were doing a cask strength, and this is the first edition, like this is the first round of it.
Yep.
It was kind of like I really want to try that to see what it is, and found it, got it, tried it, and we were just kind of like, oh,
there it is.
What? That's not what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is.
I will say this: it is not. I remember us saying it is not the Highland Park that we know in terms of like it feels unfinished.
Sure. I just remember thinking that it was going to be more than what it was.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a bit disappointing.
Go to the nose, and like maybe it's just because we're saying all the disappointment.
I know.
But
and there's a touch of peat.
There's
on the nose.
Slight, just slight.
Touch of peat. It's there.
Touch of peat. You're right. But it does. It just like
that's beautiful.
It is. But again, there's a quality in the Highland Park cask strength that you do not have in the other two, and that is it's like bright, fresh note. And I don't know if I'm saying that that's a negative or not.
I immediately went back to the Bunnahabhain because I felt like just nosing this one is like, all right, it's definitely not like a wine sherry sweetness. Well, let me go back and nose the Bunnahabhain just to compare noses. And the Bunnahabhain, I think, due to its age, has a much older, almost like now that I'm nosing this one, has more of like a barrel note on the nose. Almost like a chocolatey note.
What, on the Bunnahabhain?
On the Bunnahabhain.
Yeah.
This Highland Park is, again, it's brighter, seems fresher, and just that touch of like mossy peat.
Maybe that's it. Maybe there's just not a lot of barrel quality to the Highland Park cask strength. And like when you think of a Scotch, you generally get, some of those nice, old, musty kind of barrel notes that it's just not, you just don't get here.
Right. And the caramel on this is like, again, it's a much brighter caramel. Like the caramel that just got to caramel.
Correct.
Where like the caramel in that Bunnahabhain's it's a little bit darker. You let it cook a little bit longer. Right. It's a little browner, a little darker.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. All right. On the palate. Oh, there's slight peat on the palate too.
Yep.
I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, on the back end.
Wow.
Oh, and it gets stronger. It builds.
It does. Ooh.
Man,
okay.
That might be in the wrong category.
Uh-oh. I might have to walk my my ire back a bit here. That is not bad.
It's delightful.
Like the okay. Everything I said, I still
spice on it.
I maintain. It still feels young. But yeah,
younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that bright kind of floral note, then accentuated with the peat, and then that like peppery, like Sichuan pepper kind of on the back end. Man.
That's pretty fun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Definitely don't hate it.
I'm sorry, Highland Park cask strength. I might have done you wrong here.
A lot of nice like oakiness throughout it too.
Yeah, which is again weird.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that on the nose.
Yeah, like the dry oak all over the palate.
Yep.
Man, that's Szechuan pepper.
Yeah.
A little heat on it.
Little heat. A little bit of num.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delightful.
All right. Speaking of Highland Park.
Crap.
No, it's not. It's not bad.
Wow, my brain's reeling right now. Man, that's crazy. All right, baby. Let's get that dark one.
Here we go. Gulf Coast. The highest proof.
All right. Before you do anything, is this going to be dramatically different on the nose?
I think so.
On the nose?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Than the Highland Park cask strength?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Okay.
Simply based on age, A, and B, the way this thing looks in the glass. If it's not dramatically different, I would be shocked.
I'm expecting it to be fairly different on the palate, but on the nose, just because it's Highland Park, we know what they do.
Ure.
I wonder if the noses here might just kind of be relatively similar.
All right. Well, let's try it.
Dramatically different.
Wow.
I get a little expo marker on that one.
Yep, definite expo marker. And like really sweet like sherry. Is there sherry here? I don't know if it is sherry, but there's like a really like wine nature going on. Okay, you can definitely
first fill European sherry oak butts.
There we go.
Absolutely, yeah. No, you're spot on.
Wow,
very sherried. Like this one's going to be way more interesting to the A'bunadh.
Yeah, you know what? I would say like I could be convinced that this is almost a wine. Like,
oh yeah,
port. I mean, obviously the high proof here, but yeah, port for sure.
Yeah,
it has that nature.
That's the thing I want us to do too.
Port wine
is I want us to get a bottle of like Pedro Jimenez.
Oh yeah,
a bottle of Oloroso.
Yeah,
a bottle of what was that one? Malaga.
Yeah.
I was for whatever reason like a video of the cask of the Amontillado came up, and I was watching that. I was like, I wonder if they still make Amontillado, because like throughout that poem, it's very much, or short story, it's very that's the thing.
Yeah,
is it's an Amontillado. Like shit, and so I looked it up, and it's like dirt cheap. Like I couldn't even find an expensive one.
All right,
little raisiny popping through.
I would even go so far as to say like really raisiny, and I think that's a sherry note.
Yeah.
Like
just whatever they're using there.
Like I know you don't like raisins, but like I do. I like raisins.
Yeah.
And I'll throw raisins in cereal. I'll throw raisins. Like I'll just eat them.
Makes me want to go back. Makes me want to go back to the
cognac, right?
Well, cognac, yeah, for sure, always gets it. But I was thinking specifically of the
Dalmar. Yeah.
The one bottle that I had of that was like straight raisin. I didn't like it. I didn't care.
This reminds me of like opening a box of raisins. Like at lunch when you're a kid.
It's like building on the raisins.
It really, truly is. All right, on the palate. Wow. I am really surprised that this is this high proof. Oh, wait, there it is.
I haven't got there.
Oh,
that was just like literally like drinking caramel.
Ooh, it hit me, man. Oh, no, it is. This is like thick.
Huh.
God, that proof, man. It doesn't hit you initially. For me, it like sneaks up on you. Grabs you by the gooey bits.
I don't feel like, to me, it's not. I mean, it's there, but I don't feel like it's any more present. Like I feel like that Szechuan on the cask strength was way more bitey.
Oh, I agree. The bitey nature, but for me, it's that like it's the ethanol like alcohol burn, not the pepper burn.
Right,
that comes out and sneaks out of me. Sneaks out of me. It sneaks out of me.
Sneaks out of you?
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah. No, that sneaks up on me.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is way more buttery than I remember.
Yeah,
it's buttery.
It's buttery. It's caramel. It is thick.
Like it's a little salty,
viscous
on the front end.
Yeah, that is delightful.
Yeah.
All right,
man. Third sip, beautiful bitter.
Yeah,
on the backhand. Ooh.
All right, time to go, Petey.
All right. Here's what I'm worried about now.
Oogie boogie.
Going to Uigeadail. Hopping off that high proof.
Sure.
Are we going to jump down to Uigeadail, and is it just going to get washed away? I'm going to do a little water switch.
Little water rinse.
Because I'm worried for little Uigeadail. I'm afraid Gulf Coast might just punch him in the face, and he has to go home crying. I don't want that to happen to Oogie.
All right, a little bit of a rinse going on.
You know what was surprising though? For being able to pick up the peat as well as we could on the cask strength, nothing on that Gulf Coast.
Nope,
like not a touch.
Not a touch. Not interesting. Not even a whiff.
Yeah, nothing. But on Oogie, however,
ooh, yeah, ooh, good all.
Uigeadail.
No, you definitely like this is peated.
Man, there was a touch of cherry on that.
You could not convince anybody this is not peated, because it is.
But man, I think again it just speaks to the rounded nature of it. Like it's just so well rounded and balanced everywhere.
Yeah, it's not like punchy peat. It's like warm, friendly peat.
Yeah, wrapped around. Oddly enough, like I'm getting cherry.
Yeah,
dark cherry,
like cherry jam, or like what are the? Is it preserves? Like, has it got the big chunks in it?
Yeah.
A
little bit of milk chocolate.
Yeah,
dude.
Like dark chocolate though, like dark milk chocolate. And I realize like milk chocolate tends not to be dark, but it's like you're heading in that direction.
Yep.
And like I'm getting a little bit of brine. I was gonna say like olive. I'm like, wait, hold on, walk that back. But I'm getting like a little bit of sea.
Sure.
Ooh, okay.
A little sea mist.
Man, I want some oysters right now.
As many times as I've had oysters, I've always wanted a nice smoky scotch to go with it.
Yeah.
But like they know that.
Yeah.
And so they jack up that price. So it's like
they
the
don't
price
have
of a bottle for a pour.
Yeah.
So last time I went, I brought my own.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was the bottle. I sent you that picture of that water bottle that had.
Oh.
I was kidding. That's the whole reason I had that with me that day.
Oh.
Was we went and got oysters at the bar first before we went to our table. And it was
delightful.
God, like that's the best pairing on the planet.
I
man.
believe it.
So damn good.
All right, on the palate. Oh, okay. There's the peat.
Yeah.
That and it is a bit aggressive.
It is, and I think that, it just shows you the power of peat. Granted, I rinsed out of being scared, but no way. That peat will punch through.
It's going to cut through that. And I know that we've said that the Corryvreckan is the one with the punchier peat.
Yeah, the more aggressive.
Yeah, you jump into the peat, and this is peat.
Yeah, it's peat, and there's a strong bitter that's like it's a piece of driftwood.
Yep,
that's like covered in barnacles and shit.
100%.
You just licked that thing right out of the ocean.
You pop one of those barnacles off. You're like,
yeah, chewed on that. Woo.
Yeah, and then can you eat a barnacle like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think they're like a shell. I think you'd have to crack it open.
Oh, so it's one of those like
maybe.
I
have no idea. I got to be honest. I have no clue.
Well, I'd try it.
Oh, hell yeah. Try it.
But, you acclimate to the peat, and then you get this, like, just really nice bouquet of flavors. That jammy nature is still there. There's some really beautiful dark chocolate going on. And it's weird because, like, milk chocolate on the nose, dark chocolate on the palate.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, unctuous. Like, it feels like you can chew it. Man.
Yeah, there's so much bitter with that chocolatey note that it's just like, it's very clear, like a very, very dark, deep, dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Like almost like just pure cacao.
Yeah. Which if you Google cacao, man, that stuff looks gross. Like that weird cough or the weird pod thing. Yeah, exactly. It's disgusting looking.
We eat that?
All right, shall we move on to the Corryvreckan?
Indeed.
Okay. Basically the same color. I know we haven't talked about color a whole lot just because the Gulf Coast is so damn dark.
Yeah. I mean, all the rest of them are within a shade of each other. And then just that one all right, Mr. Reckon, what you got for me?
Wow. That is quite different.
And I meant to say that on the Oogie was how thick it was, too.
Yeah.
It was like it was very thick. For it to be the lowest proof.
Yep.
It was much more oily, I feel like, than just about anything else.
Okay, so it could be that the Uigeadail was our first peated, but when you come to the nose on the Corryvreckan, the peat is not prominent.
Sure, yeah, and I'm wondering the same thing. Like, is our nose already adapted to it?
Yeah, and we've said that countless times before. Like, I feel like peat is something that like you just get strong, and then once you acclimate to it, it just kind of fades in the background. So I'm going to say that that's the effect, is that like the peat is just dissipated for us.
Right.
Within that, though, you get this like really nice, dark, rich, buttery note.
Yeah, that, and I get a huge uptick on that sea mist.
Yep,
much saltier, brinier.
That brine comes out strong. Bit of a reset. Just smell a candle real quick. Just kind of do a quick reset. Come back to it, and the peat's there. It's definitely not as strong as on the Uigeadail. But so I think we're still acclimated to it, but it's definitely there. Honey. And I can the proof is definitely a little bit higher. I'm getting more of it. Just that alcohol burn.
Yep. Going in.
Okay. Oh, but it's definitely on the palate.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Way more punchy on the palate.
There's that rugged nature.
Yeah.
Wow. That is like everything about that is like unrefined AF and delightful because of it.
Yeah, it's scruffy.
Mm-hmm.
A
Yeah.
little bit of a bully.
Yeah.
Kind of pushes you around a little bit.
Just a little bit. But you're still friends.
Yeah.
Oh, God, man.
He's just dominant, though.
Yeah.
He's the alpha.
100%.
Yeah.
Man.
Shit.
The buttery note kind of goes away and is just replaced by like Poppa Peat and like big Poppa Peat. You know what I mean?
Papa Smurf Pete.
It's so funny that it's not really prevalent on the nose because, and again, I think it's just because we've kind of become nose blind to it. But man, on that palate, wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And like the touch of like oats and wheats and stuff. Like I'm picturing like a loaf of bread that's just gnarly as hell.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of the other times, like when you
like
kind of
very
visualize,
seeded,
yeah, heavily seeded and just like shit poking out of it.
Yeah.
Like it's just rough textured and it's like exploded in on itself and it's just like, eat me.
Yeah.
kind of loaf of bread. Damn it! I dare you. I'm gonna sit like a brick in your stomach.
Yeah, like a really dense, heavy like bread, like a what's like an Irish soda bread, just like dense and heavy.
Like, you don't put me on the outside.
No,
I'm the meat of this bread. This sandwich.
It's a bread sandwich.
Yeah, you put the meat on the outside.
Exactly.
Look forward to getting to the bread. Whoa.
Ooh.
Shit.
All right, let's move on to the Laphroig Cask Strength.
Bit me back. All right.
What?
My anticipation is that this is about to get overwhelmed.
I agree completely.
I feel like Corey is going to just destroy this. And this is going to come across as like very pretty.
This is 120.2. It's higher than I remember.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh.
If it's able to do it, it's through the proof.
Yeah. On the nose. The peat is there. It's a different kind of peat.
It reminds me of the peat on the Highland Park Cask Strength when we got to there.
Yes.
Because that touch of peat.
Again, I think we've become nose blind to it.
Yeah, because when I opened that bottle at the beginning of the episode, it's like, hey.
I got some on my pants, as I do. I was like, oh man. Then walk through a campfire again. But it gives way. The peat gives way to like this really beautiful honey note.
Yeah.
Like there's like you ever had like a chili pepper honey? Like a hot honey?
Sure.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Like slightly watered down, but just like there's some really beautiful notes in there.
I'm getting a lot of leather.
Ooh, yeah. That's something we haven't gotten on any of these.
Yeah.
I know, and it's funny you say that because I normally don't get leather on Scotch.
I don't either. That's usually more of a bourbon thing, but that's where I'm going right now. Ooh.
Yeah, that is delightful on the nose.
Yeah.
All right, going in?
Yeah, I'm going to put some on my tongue.
Yeah. Okay. That peat is prominent.
It whips on the back end.
It really does.
It comes through
strong.
Crystal clear.
Yeah. That is dialed up, that peat.
A lot of bitter. A lot of oak on that back end. Like burnt oak. A lot of char. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of like a wild turkey product. You got a lot of char on wild turkey. Yeah, a lot of that.
It reminds me of that. And like in this case, like campfire heavy char.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been a thing that I could like attribute to Laphroig on its own.
Right.
But like doing it in this way and like being able to focus on different aspects of it, I could almost see like a correlation to that. Kind of like almost like a burnt roasted peanut.
Yeah. Ooh,
on that back end.
Or I would say like like those crispy bits of a steak that's like been grilled, and then you just got like, I don't know, there's like charred, like
heavily charred.
Yeah, like and you're gonna eat them because they're delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's different than the steak itself, and that's what this reminds me of.
It's attached to a big old piece of fat.
Correct.
And it just melts together and just.
I literally had steak last night, and that's exactly what happened.
No
Carol's
kidding.
like, "Hey, this is basically a piece of fat. I don't want it." I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Exactly. It was like crispy bits.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That's the best bite on your plate. I always like that. That'll forever like stick with me. Of like growing up, like we had steak once a week. My dad would go downtown and get whatever was on sale.
Sure.
And he'd always like get the sirloin with that that edge piece. And I never liked that piece growing up. Like I always wanted the big chunky meaty piece in the middle. Because that bit over here, like it just at that point in time, I just didn't care for it. It was too tender, I think, and it was too fatty.
Yeah.
And so I'd always leave that bit. My dad was always like, "What are you doing? Why do you leave that every time?" I don't like it. I just like that bit. And so now every time I'm eating that, and it's like absolutely the best bit, I'm like,
yeah, he was right.
You happy? You happy? Look at me. Listening to Fleetwood Mac and eating the fatty bit. Delicious.
I've taken more to doing cast iron for my steaks now. Like I rarely do I grill steaks.
No shit.
Yeah.
Just for the sear?
I think it's a sear. Yeah. Well, I also tell you my go-to method. Seared on both sides. Let's say I'm doing like a New York strip or something.
Yeah.
Let's say they're about inch and a half maybe. Sear on both sides for 3-ish minutes. Get that cast iron just like glowing hot. I mean, not that hot. But like I'll put the cast iron in the oven at like 500.
Right.
For like 20 minutes before, and I just like fill the house with smoke.
And then put that on the stovetop?
Put that on the stovetop, crank that burner to high, put that on the stovetop, sear on both sides. Then I take it off.
Put it back in the broiler?
Nope. I take it off. I let it rest for like 2 minutes. Then I take like half a stick of butter, just drop the butter in there, and then just baste the steak in butter. And holy God, like it makes an unhealthy thing even more unhealthy. but it's so damn good.
What's the unhealthy thing?
Well, steak can be unhealthy depending on how much fat is in it.
Sure.
And then you're taking butter, which is all fat, and you put it in. I'm not saying like it's delicious. Is it cholesterol free? No, sir.
All right. I mean, if cholesterol is your barometer, sure.
Okay.
But just in terms of
It's not like you're eating
shit
it
ton
every
of
day.
protein.
Sure.
You're
ain't eating it every day.
No carbs.
No
Sugar.
Right. Okay.
Like it's just what barometer are you looking at? Like
I got you. I'm with you.
I legit don't have a problem with that. As long as you're staying, you're working out and you're getting your burn on.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that.
Well, in that case, Kyle approved. I'm for it.
Yeah.
I might have it again tonight.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I mean, I'm just thinking in terms like
I'm with you.
It just depends on what you're looking at.
I see it. Yeah, I'm with you.
That meal is not going to spike your blood sugar.
No, you're right.
Like even if you just had a piece of white bread, you know, like one piece of white bread is going to spike your blood sugar way more than that entire thing's going to do.
So I guess and from what I've read, that consumed cholesterol does not equal cholesterol in the body necessarily. So okay.
I mean, if you ate that meal and then like you never moved, yeah, that's gonna fuck you up real quick. But if you get out and you do your thing and you keeping it moving, I'm all for that shit. Do the thing.
All right.
Build that muscle. I was expecting a curveball. I don't think it's a curveball.
The Laphroig?
Yeah.
No.
Kind of more of a change up.
I agree. But like
I'm happy with how much that peat is popping through on the palate.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say like a change up that might be a fastball. And here's what I mean by that. Like it's a little too it's not curveball.
Slider.
Oh,
drops off the table.
There it is. Yeah.
Comes at you nice, so just blip.
Yep. You got to reach for it. If you're going to go for it, you got to reach for it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you. Those are baseball metaphors, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Now that we've gone through our 7 bottles here, Kyle.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we do.
Yeah.
I think we run back through them outside of you and I talking.
Yeah. I just thought about,
and we make some decisions.
Who do you put at the bottom? Yikes. I think it's just as difficult figuring out who you put on top, but
I agree.
Who do you give the awful?
But again, it's not awful.
Barometer
it's just
of
here's in this lineup.
You were the bottom,
right?
Phew.
In this lineup, here's where it is.
All
right, and go. All right, have you made some decisions?
Okay, I'm there.
Okay, I'm going to tell you real quick before I before we run through our lists.
Yep.
Stop. That's what I was going to do.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, stop. This is my head. You cannot occupy the same space.
Sorry.
Yeah. Before. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna mix them.
Okay.
before we get okay, let's do it.
Does it make something greater than the sum of its parts?
I don't know, but I got basically a full pour of whiskey left.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about it,
I'm like half a pour. I really was surprised how quickly I went through my Uigeadail. My first sip on the Uigeadail was like half of the pour that I'd given myself.
Ooh, on the nose of them all mixed.
Of our blend here.
Oh God.
I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna let it marry together. But
open up.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm a. Oh boy.
You're going for it.
I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna.
You got a lot more than me. That's a good call.
Wow. All right. I'm not gonna tell you my thoughts.
Okay.
In your 7th spot.
Yeah.
Okay. One more time. Circle back around. This does not mean this is the worst whiskey.
Yeah.
This just means in this lineup, this is where this particular whiskey has fallen, based on our tastes.
Can I also say,
it.
in every kind of big tasting thing that we've done like this, where we've featured a bunch of bottles and things like that.
Yeah.
It's never been this difficult to separate 1 to 7.
It really has not. No.
I could flip this list any day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a perfect point.
These were all somewhere between 9 out of 10 and 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'll say in the other episodes that we've done, even when we've said hey, do this again, completely different lineup, this is absolutely the most difficult lineup I've ever done.
And it's specific to these bottles.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think having the bottles be where they're at has so much influence over it. It's just tough.
And I'll say this, there are I literally I wrote it down because I made one change because I knew if I didn't write it down and just go with it, I would fight myself the entire time. So I'm like, nope, just gotta write it down. Here's where we are.
Same.
Yeah.
I just made a list just so that we could get this done. Because I could sit here
for
hours
debating this. Debate it back and forth. Okay. So in your 7th spot, what you got?
I've got the Aberlour A'bunadh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In this lineup, for me personally right now, and I'm going to attribute it to the fact that there's just a spit left.
Sure.
Is like there's not a lot of volume.
Okay.
I think it was the quietest of the bunch.
I'm with you.
Simple is a horrible word, but just everything else had so many more
interesting
things happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where I put it.
All right.
That's tough because
it's tough.
I'm gonna buy another bottle for sure. But in this lineup today,
sure.
How about you?
I put the Laphroig Cask Strength.
Interesting.
At the bottom. Yeah.
Yep. How'd you put it there?
First of all, like thinking about the peated whiskeys that we have here, it was the one that like I wasn't wowed the most by.
Right.
And it was very similar to why you put the A'bunadh at the bottom. It to me was like the quietest of that kind of branch.
Right.
Because I kind of like split it up into a couple of different things of like, okay, so peated versus non-peated and proof. And for me, it was just like, it was the one that was just the quietest.
Gotcha.
It's a damn good pour.
I know.
But so I put it
so good.
All right, number 6 for you.
I have the Laphroig at number 6.
Okay.
Same kind of thing. So even though it was quiet, also the fact that it had the peat made it just that much more interesting than the A'bunadh.
Sure.
For today, it got up there. It edged out the A'bunadh.
Gotcha.
But yeah, agreed. Everything you said.
Sure.
How about you?
I put the Corryvreckan.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Corey.
Yeah, and the reason being, it's that rugged nature that when you get to the palate, it just did not suit me today.
Gotcha.
It sung more than the Laphroig, but it's just like there was something about it that just like, it's delicious.
Yep.
But
fair enough.
There you go. How about your 5th spot?
My 5th spot, I put the Bunnahabhain.
Interesting. Okay.
Same kind of thing of just like I had to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And just like in the interestingness of it, the lack of the peat.
Yeah.
Kind of put it down there for me, but it's freaking delightful.
Gotcha.
Love it.
Yeah. I put the Highland Park Cask Strength. I will say out of this lineup though, that is the one I am most surprised by.
Yeah.
Coming back to it and tasting it, first of all, again, because I haven't had it since that episode.
Yep.
But also tasting it against other things, that is the winner in terms of surprise.
Yeah.
Like, wow, actually, that's better than I thought it was.
And honestly, too, like I feel like, well, I'll wait till I get to it.
Okay.
Never mind.
So yeah, I put Highland Park Cask Strength number 5.
Number 5.
Yep.
Number 4. I've got Uigeadail at number 4.
Okay.
I feel like getting into that peat range of things, it is well-rounded. And for me today, well-rounded was a bit of a downside. Just in this specific lineup right now because it was delightful. But like I feel like there were so many interesting things that surprised me in this lineup, drinking them this way.
Right.
That I felt like well-rounded and just kind of like that aspect of it, and that's probably why I put Bunnahabhain where it was.
Yeah,
was just kind of a bit of a downside. There were so many kind
like
of
a little
surprising
too
notes.
safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I wanted something a little bit that was more, interesting, more to think about.
And that's why I put the Bunnahabhain as my number 4 because like that round, that rich note. Like I don't disagree. It is the safer of the top 4 to me, but like all of those notes just really sang. And I have a pinch for Bunnahabhain.
That's true.
You're lucky I didn't put it at the top. Because no, but honestly, like, it is not the best out of this lineup for me.
Right.
But I really love those like round, warm, just friendly notes. And to me, it's accentuated by this little like accent mark of, hey, here's some proof.
Right.
Yeah. It stood out in that realm.
Yeah, for sure. 3.
Number 3.
I've got the Gulf Coast at number 3.
Okay.
My top 3,
yeah,
I feel like are the ones that were like the most interesting, the most to think about, the most complex whiskeys.
Agreed.
So I've got Highland Park at number 3.
Okay.
And I felt like that one just, again, it's just so surprising how buttery and everything was, and it's so thick and it's so umptious. It had to be in my top 3.
Yeah,
for sure.
My 3, I have the A'bunadh.
Not A'bunadh.
Yeah. And the reason that I have it, I don't disagree with your assessment and putting it at the bottom for the reason that you mentioned, but like that sherry nature to me, that jammy, beautiful nature, that's what stuck out.
Yeah.
So like, I agree. Like the top 3 for me, same. Like they stick out. And for me, it's that jammy, sherry nature. Like it is muted. It is a little bit quiet in the realm of everything.
Right.
But when I think about it, like that's what sets it apart for me.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it number 3.
Cool.
How about number 2 for you?
I then have the Cask Strength.
Wow.
At number 2. That freaking spicy, like jalapeno note was like a shock.
It really truly was.
I went back to it when I was doing my run through, and it was legit like burning my lips. Like it was so spicy. And so that just like surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And for that to have been as in my head,
right,
where I thought it was, and then to actually experience it today with everything.
Yeah.
No, I thought it needed to jump up there.
I don't disagree. Like that Szechuan pepper kind of numb-tonguey nature there, that was delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got number 2?
Number 2, I have the Uigeadail.
Uigeadail.
Yeah. Of the lineup here, it is by far, to me, the best peated. It is the most well-rounded. It gives you a lot of notes to think about.
Yep.
That dark chocolatey kind of thing is impressive. It's fantastic.
Very cool.
It really, truly is.
All right.
Which means in your number 1 spot,
I've got Corryvreckan.
you've got the Corryvreckan.
Yeah. I like the bristle that it's got on it. It's got some scruff.
That's good. Bristle.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's just, man.
Yeah.
Like that pour is a tough one to beat for me. I like that ruggedness. I like that challenge that it gives you.
Sure.
And like, is it the prettiest? No. Is it the most like, I don't know, like satisfying? Yeah, in a way. But like, is it just like, is it for everybody?
No.
Hell no. But
it's unsophisticated in the right ways.
Right. It's challenging and it's just rugged in all the best ways.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
I love that pour, man.
Yeah. Which means for me,
Yep.
I have the Highland Park Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast.
Yeah. And for me, it was that really big, bold nature of the whole thing.
Right.
That it is a sherry bomb among sherry bombs. Like
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that it was sherry. I asked you and you read the bottle. I had no idea. At least I didn't remember it.
Right.
And it just stands out hardcore because of that.
Right.
The proof is beautiful. The proof really pushes those notes, and I'm impressed by it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a cool bottle.
It is a cool bottle.
I wonder if that's going to be a once in a lifetime.
It might be. Yeah. And
that's tough.
But can I say though, because and maybe it's just Scotch. In the Scotch world, I have things that I really want, but I am not adverse to I could plow through that bottle and be just fine.
No kidding.
Yeah, in terms of
I hate that I get like that.
Yeah.
But I totally do get like that of
I want to save it kind of thing?
Not necessarily save it, but it's man, I just don't know if I'll ever get it again.
Right.
And so it does give me a little bit of a hesitation of when do you do it? But then there's also on the adverse side of that, I don't want it to go bad.
Right.
I want to finish it before it loses this special quality. What's the point of hanging on to it if I finish it 2 months from now and that special quality is already declined?
And
why not hit it at its height?
And again, for all of our new listeners, when we say go bad, we don't mean the liquid is still good. Just all of those notes that you get initially tend to be a little bit more muted the longer the bottle stays open.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing. I would have finished that A'bunadh literally 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But I was saving it for this.
Sure.
And I can already tell there's been a drop.
Changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's changed.
So yeah, it's tough. That's an interesting quality of having that bottle, because especially one like that where it's a specific edition.
Right.
Who knows if they'll? I mean, I would imagine surely to goodness Highland Park will do other sherried finished things, so you could probably get something similar.
Right.
But
this is it.
If that specific bottle was so special, it may not ever be replicated.
I don't know. There's something different about Scotch and bourbon. I've held on to some bourbons way longer than I should have because
Right.
I'm never going to get that again. But I'm actually, no, I can see it everywhere. I just don't want to pay for it.
Sure.
But for this, it's I actually might never get that again.
That specific, whatever they did to that for this, it might be a once in a lifetime.
But for whatever reason, I'm man, no, I'll drink it. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, go to the mix.
Okay.
Yeah. So we blended all of them together. It sat there. It's opened up just slightly.
Whew.
I tell you what.
What?
That sherry note is what sticks out to me.
To me, it's more of the caramel nature of everything. Okay. Everything I felt had a bit of a caramel touch, except for probably the Laphroig.
Yeah.
Everything else I think had it, and so I definitely get that. Strangely enough, we usually always do this.
Yeah.
But this smells like we did that. Yeah. This smells like a bunch of shit thrown together.
100%.
It doesn't smell like if you just poured this out of one bottle.
No, it definitely
this smells confusing.
Culmination. Yeah. This is confusion in a glass.
Yeah, it smells like it doesn't know what it is. Which is interesting. There's a little bit of raisin. There's a little bit of chocolate. There's a little bit of peat. There's a little bit of sherry.
I just get sherry.
There's a lot happening in mine.
On the palate? Man, that is funky. Whoa.
Yeah. Yep, definitely not better this way, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times we do that, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's delicious.
No, this is worse.
Yeah,
like,
no, this is definitely, like, you put them all together, and it's like, no, they're all fighting each other. It's like being in a room of kindergartners.
That are
just all
going ape shit.
Well, there's free time.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? Is you get like all the beautiful sherry notes and the well-rounded Bunnahabhain, and then just at the end, it just all fights together. It does not work.
Yeah, none of it's like
I ain't gonna finish this.
mingling. Oh, I'm gonna finish. I don't have that much left. You got a hefty bit left there. That's so strange. That's really interesting. I would have never thought that.
Well, because most of the time when we do that, it's better.
If you do that, like, I mean, the specific time that I'm really thinking about right now is the episode that we did with our fall beers this year, where we poured those all together.
Oh yeah,
and it was the best thing that we had.
Yeah,
it was like
by far
perfect.
Yeah,
but again, like those are all very similar styles and similar things happening. And I think a lot of times when we do it with bourbon, it's the same kind of a thing of like
they're all roughly.
It's all kind of trying to achieve the same end point.
Yep.
Whereas this, they're all so different. Nope, doesn't mingle
work.
so well.
Doesn't work. You got anything else?
I got a little bit left in my glass. I'm gonna finish.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I think I'm good.
Yeah, me too. This was enjoyable. I loved it.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite tastings that we've done.
I don't disagree.
I mean, I say that every time.
Yeah,
but
because we like doing tastings.
Tastings are fun.
Yeah,
but this one's up there.
Well, and it's because like all of these are battling one another, and like this puts a whiskey connoisseur through their paces for sure.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a heavyweight.
Yeah,
kind of a thing of like they can each hold their own.
Yep.
And individually, they're all champions. So to put them all in the ring together and try to duke it out, that's just how it happened today.
Yep.
And it would happen differently every other time from this moment on.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we want to know what you think about any one of these 7 whiskeys. Have you had them? What are your thoughts? Have you had the privilege to pair them together with, I guess, all 7 of them? Or, just one against another? What do you think?
Yeah. And then let us know, like, which ones did we miss out on?
Oh,
like,
good
what's
point.
the ones that we need to have had in here that we didn't?
For sure. Well, you can get in touch with us through email. That's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
We're always one word, Drep and Stone. It's DREP and Stone. Come find us, like a thing, share a thing, comment on a thing. We'll get right back to you with all of our other things, and we'll all thing together.
Yeah. Speaking of things, you can support the podcast through our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/DrepandStone. A lot of really cool things going on there. And we also would love it if you support Drep and Stone by rating us wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one. And finally, you can support Drep and Stone by telling someone. Actually, Kyle, probably like first in the lineup of everything, like supporting is word of mouth. Like just tell someone, hey, I heard Drep and Stone did this awesome lineup of whiskeys. What do you think about them?
Yeah, indeed.
And that's huge. Like that goes so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, send them the link, to the episode. Hey, here's what they thought. Tell them where they're wrong.
Ooh, we like to be wrong sometimes.
It'll be an interesting conversation either way.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, hey buddy.
Hey buddy.
May your glass overflow
and your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Frog in my throat. Ribbit. That's delightful.
Okay.
Little island margarita.
I know. But you're still
pulls your hair, slaps your face. Kind of like it.
Don't make a decision.
Let me get my ears back on.
You do it.
There's a lot of a pour still left.
I put the Well, we got 7 more episodes to record.
Yeah, that's a good call.
This whole timeline thing's confusing is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's banana bits, but we're trying.
Indeed. Why are we doing it for a camera that doesn't exist?
I'm just adding it to you. Woo, woo. So spicy.
Say so spicy again.
It's so spicy. Infinity clinks.